with this stuff sometimes. Good evening, everyone. Say hello if you can hear me and who's here. Would be nice. Today is going to be a little bit different. I thought I'd show some other techniques that I haven't shown before that aren't necessarily directly related to Toolkit, but we will use the Toolkit. So it's a bit of retouching and a bit of other stuff. Here we go. Now I can see people. Andy, Marcus, Kai, Bettina. Hello. And welcome. And Klaus is here as well. Nice. And Gerard. Great. Nice. I really like it when you say hello, everyone, when you come in. It's really cool. If you want me to show something special, so today I'm gonna retouch a quite simple image, but I thought I'd show you some background extraction maybe, and how to add another background. So a little bit of masking, even though we haven't released the masking module yet. So a little bit of pre-education, like we'll sprinkle it here and there. Like Stefan has started with the course in the group, which is really awesome. I think episode 2 will come very soon. I'll also show you a little bit about the new toolkit that's coming very shortly. I released a preview of it, but I've fixed some more stuff. So let's dive into it. So this is the image that I intend to retouch. It's a pretty simple model portrait, and the clothes, like it's not bad as it is. But I'll figured I'd show you a little bit about color. Maybe there's been a few questions about color and a little bit about masking. Maybe some other teasers at the end. We'll see what happens. So first and foremost, like I like to do a markup, and with my folder setup I can do it really easily. So I hope my shortcuts work now. They do, finally. And this as well, yes. So in an image like this, it's even though it's a model portrait, it's sort of like a little bit towards fashion as well, so you need to take care of clothes. So there will be some liquifying, like this wrinkles here, and I might push this in a little bit here, maybe a little bit here. I also saw there was some fuzz going on here, and there's some discolorations in the face, mainly here. So little bit of spray hairs, also some cleaning up of the clothes. And here's a very visible dust spot, but if you can't see it, it's very good to start with the solar. You can see it really easily. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, there's a couple of dust spots because I was lazy cleaning my camera. But it's nice to have them marked. You don't miss them. And yeah. So like it's not a beauty retouch. And like I always teach, So what I always teach, and I try to teach everyone, is to work as zoomed out as possible. I know there are various tricks, like some people they add grain over the image so they don't see the details, or they rescale the image beforehand. I think it's better to try and learn to be disciplined. Like for an image like this, if I were to do it without teaching and doing stuff, it's 50 minutes. But today we're gonna get a little bit creative and show some backdrops that Raw Exchange have, which are really awesome. So anyway, let's actually start with creating a mask, which is really easy in an image like this. So not gonna use the new tools because they're secret, but you can do it manually, and for stuff like this is so. If you look at the channels, which one has more contrast? It's the blue. I duplicate the blue, and I usually start with levels. So I bring in, so I get some good whites, and I can bring in some blacks as well, but I don't want to go too far here because I want to fix it with the brush. So right now I'm looking at the hair, and if I can make it in one pass. If I can't, then I will do several, but looks like I can here, which is cool. And then you can work with the dodge and burn tools to make this whiter if you target the highlights. So, but an even easier way is to use blend modes of the brushes. So like vivid light or overlay or soft light, doesn't really matter, or darken and lighten could work as well. Let's use the dodge and burn tools because they're easy. So, and you want to target. So right now I have, as you see, the dodge tool, which means I'm going to brighten. So I want to target the highlight. And I have a shortcut on my pen. So when I hold down the bottom button, I resize. Up and down is hardness. Let's increase exposure a bit. So right and left changes size. Up and down changes hardness. Really handy. So let's start. And then reset the brushes. So when you paint white here, you can see I can paint over the black, which is really cool. You have to be careful in areas where it's gray, but anyway, it's really easy. And here I have to be a little bit careful because I want to keep actually I'm gonna protect this area. So what I'm doing now is I'm selecting the pen just to protect the fingers and a little bit of hair. So, and if you alt click on a point, you can change direction on a single point, because I want it up here. And something like that. Protect. So, everyone following along? And then I make a selection. With a little bit of feather depending on the image of the size. Yep. Stuff is popping up. So now I have the inner part selected. So if I hold down Control Shift or Command on and I will invert, which means now that I work on this again with my I won't be able to paint inside. You see, Sandy? I want a little bit of feather to the, but then I also want to use the regular brush because the hand is white here, so I want to paint it. Oh, so I would invert and paint this part black. And now I don't need this selection anymore. Something like that. And back to the highlight. And just follow the edge, because that's all that matters. And now I want to go in here, but now I don't want the full exposure because I want to be careful with the hairs. So I will do it gently. Something like that. And a quick way, lasso tool, and just go around like this. Or the other way, if you want to invert, fine. Now I can delete. And now I need to work on the other one. So I go to the burn tool. So now I want to target. So now I can safely, since I know the white parts are good, I can pretty safely do mid-tones here. It will darken it. And I will brush this last part. I'm mostly caring about the edges right now. So something like this. Then just regular brush again. Black. And now I can paint. And here I can see that I missed something for some reason. Again. Dodge 2. High. Doesn't matter for this part. And now I have a pretty good mask. So it's good to create these masks because sometimes you want to change the not only the background, but sometimes you also want to have it the opposite way. So now when I have it also in the opposite, I can see that I failed, probably because I had feather or something on my selection. So now I'm just painting to make sure that I have a good. Am I still live? No comment. Where is my Facebook broke again? There we go. Now I can see better. So creating masks is really useful for toning selectively. And if you want to work with like color grading on a higher level, you're gonna spend a lot of time making masks and intricate masks. This one was really easy. But anyway, so there's also some other stuff you should know about, because when you create a selection from a channel like this, it's in 8-bit. It's good enough for this image, but it's also good to know. I would create a folder now, which is this is the background. And I'm not going to have it here in the repair. I just wanted to start by showing the masking. So this would probably go into, just place it after the dot and burn. Load it. Doesn't matter. And this needs to go into grading. It's just a lot that I created before that I like. So first now let's prepare, and right clicking or alt clicking with the pen, get you some help, and I will put it in the repair folder. So this new workflow that I created, it took me some time to get used to, actually, because I was so used to doing everything manually, but I haven't done that many retouches in this, and I'm already used to it. So I would really recommend you to try it, because it's really fast and organized. And if you share these files with someone else, they're gonna immediately see what you did, and super good. So yeah, let's prepare, and we can start with the actual, see what this does. Yep. And I'm gonna go fast on this one since it's not a beauty image. Then you can do the trick, stamp current and below, and use the I actually like my spacing a little bit lower, but it's not that low by default because it requires a little bit above PC, and I don't like that it's so strong. Down maybe. So now, just like this is an area that I need to fix. There's some small, actually I'm gonna zoom in and fix this right away because it bothers me. Even though I said stay zoomed out, like certain parts you really have to zoom in, and especially with hair and stuff. And if there's any luminosity issues left when I do the healing, I'm not too worried about it actually, because Touch and Burn can take care of it really easily. Just stop me at any time you have any questions. R to rotate, something that I use a lot because I like certain angles when I retouch. Also helps your eye quite a bit. It still has a bit of a rough. We'll dodge and burn a little bit here, but I don't want to spend forever, so I'll take care of most. With healing. Now let's look at the hair, and then I actually like to have the solar instead. And also all the dust spots, let's take care of them right away. Even though we might end up adding some texture to this, you never know what you're going to use the image for. Good. Not too much to explain about this part. So. Keep that. The settings for the included healing brush is quite close to cloning because I set down the feather value, whatever it is, in the presets. So here I might have to clone. What's the matter for this one? Okay, and that's right here. See if we can do it without clone. Yeah, I like the new healing brush, especially with these settings, because you can go really close. Look, you can never do that before. Even more spots. Which is really bad because I'm shooting this as a medium format file, so the sensor is really easy to clean yourself. But some of these are also like a dirty background. Yeah. So now we're done with the healing, I think, for now. And I'm gonna run the new script later, but I've actually improved it. So if you go and download, it's already online. If you go into configurator and you install add-ons and you press install on this one, do it and finish. And then you're going to get administrative privileges for the Conny workflow now, because I have also improved on another little cool feature I'll show you right now. So you go to File and Scripts, and it's called Select Previous Layer. So set this shortcut for now. And what this does is when I press it, I can go back and forth between layers. And the improvement over the old one is that if you look in with the old version of swapping between layers, it worked the same, but it left history state every time you changed layer. So every time you change layer like this, it left the history state. But I've managed to fix a way that doesn't do that, which is really handy, especially when you run all these buttons and actions and stuff like that, because you want to be able to undo really quickly. So go ahead and install that and put a shortcut to it. It's really useful. Okay, we're done with the repair. Let's dodge and burn. So I'm going to follow the workflow. I'm going to turn on the luminosity. I also like to have contrast. And the contrast depends on the image. So in this image, most of the dodge and burn is in the face. And it gets too bright. So I would probably have it here. Something like this. And go to the burn. Same here. So, oh, sorry. So here, and I press the correct key. I go back and forth. D to reset if you don't have it, and X to swap. B for brush. I like this one or this one. And now when you dodge and burn, you can't really be at this distance because it's the face that we're focusing on. So I would go a little bit in, but probably not more like than this to start. And now what you want to focus on is the stuff that catches the eye the most. So a little bit here. And sometimes you might notice in certain areas that it gets really strong. So what you can do, but you shouldn't do it like I did now, you start and then you do it. But what you can do is you turn down the opacity a little bit on the dodge layer, then it won't be as strong. So let's put it at 70 and also the burn at 70, just to show it. Now I will have to do a little bit more to the areas that I already fixed, but it's a trick. Pretty cool. And you want to try and keep the. Can you guys see my mouse today, by the way? Last time there was an issue with that. Anyone respond? The mouse pointer wasn't showing up. I wonder if my chat froze. Facebook is really weird. YouTube and Twitch is so much better with chat. My chat was frozen. That's why. And then maybe zoom in a little bit more since it's a face. And now since I'm starting to cap out in certain areas, I have to be careful not to continue in the same areas. And now I also want to look a little bit more at the shadows, so I might brighten that a little bit. So on this side here. I think everyone can see there's now I'm starting to get into pixel level, which is not something that I want to do. So I try to zoom out again. Create another touch because I want to go a little bit more here. So the clicking you hear is me changing the size of the brush. I think it's faster. But if I want to change both softness and size, I would use the pen. But for smaller sizes, it's usually easier to just way too much. So sometimes when you're working in shadows or areas where you boosted with contrast and stuff like that, it might get too strong. So then I have to go down in opacity and I have to be very careful not to lift the mouse because then I get 100%. But yeah. Any questions so far? Stefan, do you have any questions? Touch and burn is easy. Easy peasy. Just put on some music and have some fun. And then for burn, it's really important to also what I like to do is use negative, but then I need to find a good contrast. The negative is before. burn. Now I want to take care of this crease here. It's really easy to do. Just a matter of burning a little bit here. You get a very natural result. I could have healed it, but touch and burn is easy. And then you keep a little bit about it. Yep, something like that. Don't think there was a lot of burning on this side. Oh, maybe a little bit. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. So turn off the eye up. See what we got. So before, after. It's a little bit too bright here, so then I might go with a soft brush and just burn. So a little bit of a weird shadow going on because she's tilting her face. I think that's okay. Yes, so that's the main dodge and burn. And I don't see too many saturation issues or like your hairs maybe I should repair. But again, this image is not going to be viewed at this distance anyway, so not a big deal. eyes. See how it handles. Good. Like if you were doing commercial hair retouching, you would not use the content aware because it leaves a little bit of trace, and you don't want that. So you would have to clone every single hair and spend about if we're talking like a beauty campaign or so. Yeah. So another thing that I don't usually do too much, but it's nice to know, is a little bit of contouring. And I used to do it with gray soft layer, but the new Dodge and Burn is so much better that I actually like to just add another Dodge and Burn. So if I just left click here, I have to say because I wasn't. Now, cricket. Yeah, so contouring is then about below the eye a little bit, usually to brighten up, to get a bit more pop, shine on the nose, forehead usually. If there's like if you watch a makeup artist, they will make like a T in the face when they do the contouring. And for people who has, I think my chat has frozen. I don't know how to get the chat working. It I have to watch all comments. There's 22 comments, but I can only see 4. Facebook is not nice today. Oh, here we go. Maybe this works again. Okay, so I have some questions that I missed. So Marcus says, which hardness is recommended for the repair brush? So that depends on the softness of the area that you're healing. So if it's a super crisp texture with lots of details, you want it at 99. If it's a small, like, so I can show you actually. Let's create a new document, please. Decent size. That's not black, but whatever. So a big brush. If you have that like 90%, you can see the edge. But if I have it at really small, There looks like there's no edge. So it depends on the size, how much feather you want. So the smaller brush I have, I usually have a little bit more feather. But for most part, when you're doing cloning, healing, and stuff like that, you want a hard brush. A soft brush will destroy texture. So unless that's what you want, then like sometimes you want to even out texture. So if there's a part of the face that has too much compared to other parts, then you can just have a soft brush, zero softness, and just paint a little bit over it to soften it. Really important to have an even softness across the face. But so to get back to the question, use a hard edge brush when you're repairing, but it depends on the size as well. So for a really small one, I think I have it in the default settings actually. So if we look at the clone, so this is a small clone. It has 90% hardness. And this is a big clone. No, actually this one. So it has 99% hardness instead because it's a bigger brush. Is that clear? But it's also about the area that you're cloning and healing to. So if you're shooting with a shallow depth of field, or if you're healing something that's out of focus, then you want a softer brush. If you're healing and cloning something that's in perfect focus and good texture, then you want the hard edge brush. So try and match it to Marcus also asked, is it possible to automatically put the dodge and burn layers into an extra folder? Yeah, if you rename this one, it won't find it. So for example, if I'm in this one, or if I rename this one as well, it's not going to find it and put it in here, because then it will create a new one. So you can rename, if you rename the folders, they won't. So you can keep stacking folders if that's the way you want to work. For me, I just add more layers inside the same stack, usually. Except for contouring, I want that separately because I want to be able to flip that on and off without getting distracted by the... So let's get back to contouring. Now I want the really soft brush. Oh, I got the big mouse pointer. Stefan, what have you done? Anyway, so for her, since she has a lot of these highlights and stuff, pretty cool to enhance them a little bit. So, and here I can go a little bit overboard. The red pointer, yeah. This is crazy. I don't know what happened. And some shine to the legs, maybe. But leather pants. Cool. I also like to have a little bit here. Oh, take that back. And then like the lips. Usually nice to contour the upper part a little bit. Oh, So if you contour here a little bit, you can see if you look at a makeup artist, they will usually add a little bit of shine in the upper part. And same with the burn. Just add a little bit. And same here, if you want to contour, like so you get a better shape here. This side, you get a little bit of crispness. I can see an error here. Yes. So the contouring of this one isn't all that much either. But it adds a little bit. Let's look at the eyes. So we missed the hair stuff here. Go back to trusted. I want that. I can show you how to make eyelash brush. No one wants to see. It's pretty easy. All you do is go into brushes. Look at the big mouse. Know what's happening. So it's shape dynamics. I can't even click with this. So fade is what you're looking for. Fade, and then how long. So in this one, I don't know how long it is, but we can try. A minimum diameter, I usually put up a little bit, so a little bit of size jitter, and you can actually see it down here. So I won't see that. Big file. More. Nah. So you can see down here, I'm comparing to eyelash. Now I have a regular. So now if I want to paint an eyelash here, I would do it on a separate healing layer. And I would rename it, but then I can just so if I paint like this, that's way too big. I misjudged. I blame it on the mouse point. And you would sample, so you get same colors. Still too big. What I thought, I got tricked. So now I paint here, and it's too much jitter going on. You can turn it off since we have noise section. Play with this a bit because it's different for each image, but if you want to fill in some eyelashes, it's a good method. And then the closer you get to here, you want to change the size, and over here it's a different color. You want to take care of that. But yeah, that's how you would create the eyelash brush. You need to fill in eyelashes. Keep in mind the bend, so they go this way here, And here they go almost like this, but then you need to change the, go in here and change it to 20. And then I can do some small ones here if I want to. These are now to dark. Yeah, but you get the idea. So now this is too tall. We're getting almost into beauty retouch now, but I just wanted to show. Anyway, did some eyelashes to fill in before, after. And it's more on this side than on this side, but I don't care right now because it's not going to be visible in this size anyway. We forget to heal the ear, so let's do it with the content aware. I like so. Yes, let's save it while I reload Facebook and see if there's any questions. Stefan says maybe it has to do with my magic enlargement skills. Yeah, I saw. I should show everyone your profile picture. It was really nice. I like it. I find it. This is Stefan. Ah. Oh, I guess you can see my mouse pointer easily. It's not bad. I don't know what I turned on or what keyboard shortcut it is, or I have to look at that later. It happened earlier today as well. Anyway, oh, it's even big when I do the. Look at this. Yes. Let's do some work on the background then. We're happy with this and this for now. So now I created my mask and I put it into a group because that's really useful. And then I can do whatever adjustments I want on the background. So if I put an adjustment layer in here and I do like this, it only affects the background. Pretty cool. And I can do colors and everything. So we're gonna, come on. I want to drag it in. Let's stop. There it is. So Raw Exchange has this huge library of painted backdrops. And this one fits this image because the light is coming from the left a little bit. The colors are off, but I'm gonna fix that. And the way I do that usually is I like this one, and then I just desaturate it a bit, and then I put it into overlay or soft light, depending on what I like. So I want to have a little bit more color in the background. Then I'm gonna grade it. So then this I think looks fine. Yeah. And then I also want to have, so if I reset my brushes, I can. I reset my brush. Oh. There we go. So I go from black to middle gray. So like so. And I use the gradient because usually when you have a model like this, the light isn't as even as it is on the background here. Looks a little bit fake. So I put this to overlay and I drag like this. No, that's not what I wanted. This blacken them. This is what I wanted, but not that. Something like that, maybe a little bit less opacity. So what this layer does is just adds a little bit of ground. I don't like vignettes, but this adds a little bit of ground. Shows that the background may be rounding off or the light is falling onto her. And then I also want to do, so this one would probably go below, make it even better. What did I do with this one? Okay. So then I add some color balance usually, which is nice. And it's automatically clipped now to this. Nice. I want it above the desaturate, so I'm gonna move it. Okay. Throw away the mask. Another tip, by the way, if you have the adjustments panel open, you can go here and set add mask by default and tick it off. And I won't add the mask by default. I like easier. And to get this to match a little bit better, I don't want quite a warm background and I don't want to mess more with saturation, so I'm going to play with the let's see, colors light. Depends a little bit on the grading I do on the model as well. But something like this. Now I've done from this to this quite easily. And if there is fringing, there isn't right now. There's a healing thing here. We can't because it's part of the background. No, I'm doing that. No. It really shouldn't be affected by this. render it then. Restaurant. Here. Think it was because it was a smart object? No. Ah, in the math. Think I look pretty? Thank you. Should see me in the Snapchat. Snapchat filters is nice. Anyway, okay. Let's go back and see. Yeah, it's fixed. But I think this one is in there. Yeah. Oops. Whatever. Yes. So then let's look at the selective saturation and see how the face is doing. I can see that it's doing pretty good, but I'm still gonna see it. So I'll work with it a little bit actually. So I need tiny bit. This is something you're gonna have to learn. Flip this on and off. It depends on what you did with your dodge and burn. I think this part here as well might need a reset. Saturate here a little bit. Here's the color issue, but I'm still gonna start by fixing the saturation. So here's also a little bit of color issue. And now I can see I missed a little bit on the neck. So this is my, like, I'm going, I would never spend this much time on too far. On a model portrait, but I just wanted to, I felt like it today to just show you, even though it's not typical for this type of image. Really important. I think Stefan is going to talk about it even more, but it's really important to determine what the purpose of the image is before you start to retouch. It's you shouldn't be this is something you're not gonna be able to see, but just trust me, I'm a professional. No, don't trust me. Yeah, so for quick demonstration purposes, I'll show you the correct way of doing a color correction, and then why is it feathered to 100? So actually, let's use the new cool extension that I love. And we know we need to take away green, so let's do this. So opposite of green is magenta. We want a little bit more magenta. And this will, then you don't have to worry about all the different channels and all that stuff. So all I need to do is press here. And if I'm on actually curve plane. So, and now I press here a little bit. Right, so weak. No, it's not showing. That's fine. What I thought. Oh. And what you can do here is just take it down. It's easier to work a little bit hard. And what you can see here, it does a really cool job because it moves not only one of the channels, it moves all of them. So this is more towards what I want. And if I bump it up now in opacity, you can see it's going to be very pink. But that's the opposite of the green. So, and then delete the mask. And back to the same careful procedure as with everything in Dodge and Burn. So it's too green here. I would really carefully put in a little bit of this. A little bit too green here. This is the proper way to do it, but it takes time. And now I did it too much because I was too sloppy. I fixed a lot of the issues right there. I'm not even sure if you can see. Wow. Visible. I have to reload again because it's frozen. Yeah. So, but a quick way is to use a gradient map maker, and for something like this it works perfectly because I'm gonna grade it a little bit anyway. So gradient map maker, and if I put it on brightness here, I can see how bright the point is. So I don't want the brightest, I want a good tone. I like this one, and I think I will like no 20%. Let's start. So picker point sample is really bad because it's also on screen. Now let's do it again. Gradient map maker. I want the pretty somewhere, not too bright, somewhere around here. Okay. And a good color. It's nice. And a good shadow. So the shadows here aren't too good. I like this. Okay. So once I pick 3, I can be happy with that. And then I add a black mask. Hold down Alt. And I can check if it's okay by doing something like this and inverting. And it's pretty spot on. A little bit desaturated in the darkest parts, but you can easily fix that. Oops, I moved it. So then saturation, let's increase it just slightly. Okay, okay. Sorry if I'm going fast, but these are stuff that we will go into depth later. And now I don't want to use this on the whole face because it's like makeup. When makeup artists put on makeup, it's not the same over the whole face, and depending on how the veins in the skin, it's different. So you don't want to create a gradient map and put it all over, and you want to put it in really carefully. So maybe not 1% because that takes forever, but maybe 5%. So here I see color issues that I don't like. I'm gonna try and just carefully fix them. Be like so. Yeah, that took care of it. A bit too strong here. So I just swap to black. Yes. Some grading. So I created a lot in advance that I really like. So I'm gonna not use this at 100%, but just creates a really nice warmth and stuff like that. I used 3D Lot Create to do this one. And I have a couple that I created that I like. But I also do a lot of manual ones. And you can use the color wheels and all that stuff that's coming. But something that I really like to do is once, like as a final step, is go through each of these and pull them back and forth a little bit to see what I like. I like a little bit more cyan and magenta. Let's see. Look, so I like it a little bit. It's not going to be much greens. In a way you can see if there are greens is by pulling this one. There's no greens. Not going to be any cyans either. No blues. Maybe a little bit magenta in the lips or something. No. Yeah. So doesn't do much. A little bit better consistency. And I'm happy with that grading for this one. An easy, simple one. I would maybe do a little bit more towards the brownish tones in her black because of the background. So we can do that. What you would do then is have one of the masks, invert it, make selection, same as before. You can add another group or model and add a mask to it, to the selection. And if I add now maybe a color balance, so I want a bit more earthy towards brown, and I know that's a bit more towards red. I'm not gonna use this strong, but I just wanna match the background a little bit with the clothes. I'll probably mask it out a little bit on the low to get a little bit of tint on the back. Something like this. And then for this particular layer, I would take it away from the face a little bit. The other way. So, black. And too much. Again. Something like that. Now I take it down just a little bit. Overall. And I'm done with the image. Any questions? I'm not even sure if I can see the questions. I'm going to reload. Yeah. And now we have all the cool stuff left to do, and depending on the output. So let's this is already 16-bit, so I don't need to use this one. We can remove all the help layers because I'm not going to use them anymore. We can go to this pixel layer here and delete identical pixels. Means it's only whatever I heal. And not quite. Yes. So the fun part. Let's start with actually Liquify. First, there's some Liquify that needs to be done. This mouse pointer is driving me crazy. I think Stefan installed some shit on my computer. So I don't want to. Can I have it bigger? Low pressure. Maybe not that low. Yeah. So want to make sure it doesn't distract too much. And I think I'm gonna leave a little bit of this. So you're doing like a fashion image, clothes are so important. Like you really need to, and you need to take care of all the wrinkles and I'm even gonna take in a little bit. Yes, I'm gonna leave the pants. I think maybe this wherever it should have healed. Go a little bit crazy and even out the hairdo. So, and it's a model portrait, so I know I shouldn't be doing this, but with the angle that she has right now, it looks like her lip is sloping a little bit. Don't like it. I'm just gonna ever so slightly push it up. Okay. Yeah, looks good to me. Care of this. I hate that there's no really good way to change size. That's the advantage of Smart Liquify. Still have people watching. That's nice. I've been doing this for way longer than I thought I would, but I just had some fun and figured why not. This bothers me a bit now. and I have my masks and everything, so I can cheat, which is fine. Which means that I go and I put the healing layer on top of this, and I use the regular healing. I'm actually, this is a soft background. So clone. Don't be afraid to clone at the lower percent if you just wanna clone something down a little bit. So, especially not if it's a background that's a little bit blurry already. Fine. No one's gonna notice this. Yeah, let's throw this away. Save it. Now there's lots of stuff we can do, but let's pretend we're going for a web image. So resize the long edge, and 2000 is usually good. 2048. So now comes all the cool stuff into play. Actually, before we do, I want a little bit more punch in this image, and there's a cool smart object for this, which is called contrast. Takes a while on a big pack. Gonna get there. Ah, it's waiting for save. That's why. I'll reload and see if you have any more questions. If anyone's still awake, say something. Everyone's asleep. So another thing that I noticed, so this smart contrast here is very good. It's cool, but it's way too strong, and it creates a little bit of halos that I don't like. So what I would do is I take it down, and I can tweak these settings as well. So I have the radius. I take down the radius a little, and then a black, actually white mask is fine. I just want to take away on the edges. Doesn't matter on this. We're not really adding anything to the background. Like so. Maybe this mask is gonna be the most ugly mask in history. So let's start over and do white instead. Because I want contrast here. so. Now I can take these values up. Yep, I like it. Now, let's go to resize. Creates a new document, which is what we want. I'm not happy with this area. Let's fix it. Easily done. Easy. My contract actually. Yeah. That's fine. Now, so smart shopping, really cool. It's too strong for this type of image because it's medium format, but a little bit nice. And some details on the eyes, make them really pop. And then paint white. Like so, maybe a little bit on the shirt. I'm painting with black, that's why nothing is happening. Not like so. Pants. And we're done. Actually not. We have to have grain. Grain is awesome. I love grain. More grain. Now let's protect the highlight. There. So. Merge. Save. And done. So I don't have a. We could actually create one just to show you. So before and after. Yes. Still people watching. That's nice. How long have I been going? 1 hour and 40 minutes. Damn. Yeah, I usually do these images in like 50 minutes, but I just got inspired to play up around a bit. What we can do is show the stuff that's new for those that haven't seen it with my huge mouse pointer. You can now have images. So you drag in an image, browse, and you can select which one that you have. And you can have whatever size you want on this in as not too big. I can show you what happens if you try and put a really big image. So like it's gonna say it's too big. But you can have really small ones. So if you want to create like I don't know, 50 by 50. Wait, it's transparent. Great. B for brush. Let's find a cool brush. Maybe this one. And you make a dot, not with 1% flow. Dot. And then you save it. PNG. Number not 2, maybe 4. Oh, yeah. Okay. So browse for this image. 4. There you have it. You don't have to have the text. Like you can have this. And if you have a group, like the button groups work with the images as well. I'm not gonna create a lot of these, but you can create all this stuff if you want custom. Pretty cool, like so. And then if you just press them, you get the brush. If you set it to that brush in the command, and it works here now as well. So have it. And again, they don't even have to be this size. They can be really small. Just keep the same height on the stuff that you make. You want to put it in a row. We'll have some scripts for this as well, so that will generate like the S curve. But I think as a good start, pretty cool. Just put whatever you want. You can even have colors. Like I know Stefan is probably gonna have pink. So if he creates one of these, a different one, is there no heart or something? This is sort of a heart. Leaf. Yeah, perfect. The cool part is also that this is saved inside of the layout. So, this one. So it's when you share the layout, the images are included. We also fixed the bug with the delete identical pixels that could create halos, but now it's 100% accurate. So if you go to just install add-ons again, and install my workflow, you get the latest. That's all, I think. Unless anyone has any more questions. That was a short retouch made long. I think it was pretty cool. Like it came from this to this, so you can really, of course, it's more of a portrait, but it looks pretty cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And again, like all these lives and all this time that me and Stefan spend on this, it's because we want more people to join the group. So we have a Facebook group called Retouching Toolkit User Group, where we will also post like lessons and all tips and previews and everything. So if you aren't if you haven't already joined, and just search for it. Go back to this view actually. Would really help us a lot to grow the user base. We don't want to spend a ton of money making this really polished commercial videos. We know we have a really good product and it's just gonna get better with all the new stuff. So instead we wanna put that money into educating if we can, but that depends on how many people join up and how interested you all are. So the more people that join classes, the more people that share and everything, the more content you're gonna get and the more features you're gonna get in the tool. So if you're able, please help. We really appreciate it, and we thank you everyone for allowing us to do this full time, which is really awesome. And I'll be back soon with another edit, and maybe next time we can do a beauty and not so much just playing around. Talk to you soon. Have a good night or evening. Bye.